Hey Scorpio, the number of times that I have tried to do your reading in the last 2 days is crazy. The number of interruptions and odd happenings that have gotten in the way of getting it done, while also having the simultaneous knowledge that it needs to happen, like there's something that needs to come through for you. It's kept me trying. And now things have worked out to where it's actually your sign that's rising on the eastern horizon right as I'm recording this reading. So hopefully that's a good omen that I'll be able to get it done this time. We'll see what comes through. It's interesting, when I'm shuffling the cards and I have cards that are coming out of the deck, I usually just turn them over as I'm placing them on the table, unless I'm doing like a personal reading with somebody in front of me. But there's something about this concealment that's wanting to make itself known as an element in the reading, because I'm putting the cards down face down. Anyway. Okay. So we have the Five of Flints. It's like the Five of Swords. This is our main card. And funny enough, it's making me think of this whole debacle that I've had trying to do your readings, but this theme of knowing when to accept defeat or not knowing when to accept it. Yeah, it very much feels like there's an element of defiance in the face of resistance. For better or worse, I mean, it kind of depends on whether you're the person in the foreground or the people in the background walking away in defeat. But I don't know, there's a certain tenacity that's being expressed here. Like, there's so many obstacles, so many annoyances, so many hindrances on the way to get something done, but it's like it needs to happen, and there's like undeniable, it's just a fact that it needs to be done. It's like, it doesn't even matter if it's like a life or death situation. If it's not that serious, it is that serious, whether or not it has an impact on your vital energy in that way, life, death. Anyway, okay. Wow. This is the Lover's card in this deck. This is kind of interesting to me. And going back to what I was saying about this needing to accept defeat or needing to know when to walk away from something, maybe that's playing out in the sphere of relationships, especially a one-on-one, very intimate interpersonal relationship with somebody. But it's like, it's not necessarily that you're walking away into a lack of it, like walking away from one relationship to enter into a chapter of independence. It almost feels like you're walking away from one partnership into another. Like, I don't even feel like I can connect with an interstitial or like between period. It's just like it sort of melts into the other one. Like maybe somebody that you met while you were already in a relationship with somebody, or somebody that you've been working with. What's the way to put this? It's like you've both been working together on a certain project for something else, but it's like that project has ended and now a new space is opened up between you guys where you can choose to work on something else. And the reason I'm saying project and trying to lean onto that as opposed to just saying, oh, it's like a romance or a partnership that you're creating together, which very well could be that, but this feels very much more like shared creative output, like having a creative goal of some kind, or an idea that you both have envisioned that you're working to bring into form together. Donatio, we have the sun showing up. And this is like pure, unadulterated, vibrant, colorful, beautiful, powerful, warm, creative energy just bursting out from the heart without hindrance, without layers of false identity or layers of shame to block it out. It's like a cloudless day when the sun is shining directly overhead. And I'm hearing that song. I can see clearly now because the rain has fallen and it's gone. It's like cleared perceptions that in walking away from or finishing up, rounding off one cycle or one portion of a cycle, it feels more like, and kind of moving into a new form of partnership, of creating a different partnership, or establishing different goals than what had originally been intended, is what guides you both into this period of easy creation, matter-of-fact creation. Like, it's just an easy result of being together. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's work. It's just flowing and outputting simply by being what it is. And I think there is a danger with that of wanting to cap it in some way, wanting to put boundaries around this thing in order to control it, or in order to sustain some element of security, because you don't want to lose this bursting, easy output of energy where everything is flowing and everything is as you want it to be. But I think there's a knowledge in the back of your head that it's like, life is cyclical, life is rhythmic. Like, yes, it can look like this at some periods, but there's always going to be a nighttime after the day, it's a flux and a flow. And I think this element showing up in the reading is the resistance to that, or it can be the resistance to that. It could also be communicating quite literally a progression from this kind of earlier, we're going to do this thing together, we're going to work on this goal, we're going to start this project, and then this is it's actually happening, it's becoming real, and we need to maybe determine a course of action or set certain agreements in place so that we can keep ourselves on the track without straying from the original intention or vision. It's a beautiful card. And I believe this is the equivalent of the King of Wands, so this card to me is very similar to like the Emperor card, in the sense that it conveys a certain authority or a certain competence in this figure. This is somebody who knows how to direct energy both within themselves and through delegation other people. This is somebody who's very capable of running a company running a business, running a country, running a state, a city, whatever. Just having some sort of position of authority where it's very important to be able to make quick, decisive decisions, decisive decisions. But it's like somebody that, on the one hand, can be methodical, can be industrious, and very creative with their thinking, but is also very focused on how to bring it into the world. It's sort of like it's the bridge between the imaginal world and the physical world. It's this willpower, this drive to do something, to create something, and maybe finding a way to stabilize that mindset. This is also like establishing routines which help to maintain you at your utmost, whether that's like physical exercises or specific diet or specific music or specific routine throughout the day. Like, again, this idea of not necessarily guardrails, but almost like fencing to keep you on this straight and narrow path so that your energy is utilized more effectively. And I don't know, I'm looking back at this card and it's making me think of, like, this figure is walking down a path while in partnership with somebody else who is laying the bricks, laying the stones of the path. And there's not necessarily like a power dynamic, like I'm going to tell you where to put the stones, where to put the bricks, although that's kind of an element of what's going on there. But it's like equals speaking with one another. Like, the one person has the direction, has the vision, and the other person knows how to actualize it and make it real. Like that sort of partnership. Okay. We have the 2 of Jades and the 5 of Hearts. How very interesting the contrast of imagery here. You have this figure lamenting over the loss of these 3 hearts, sort of rejecting reality so that he can stay marinating in his sorrow and his sadness and his possibly self-pity. And then you have this very carefree figure here, very dynamic, interacting with the world, playing within the world, juggling even. I know in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you have the 2 of Pentacles is a figure that appears to be juggling these 2 pentacles, these 2 coins. Kind of a similar idea here. But it's conveying emotion, it's conveying a movement, a progression from one place to another. By making decisions, by making choices, you move in different directions, and that's what this card is conveying, especially with this. This is Olin, this is the glyph of movement. This is what the day sign movement looks like, or earthquake as it's most commonly known. But it's like having the wisdom to know when it's appropriate to move, to, again, kind of going back to this card, knowing how to properly store your reserves and how to sip on them, so to speak, so that they last you. Because I feel like whatever this is not necessarily a test of endurance, but that's kind of the only phrase that I can think of. It's this exercise in discipline in order to maintain a very steady course. And sometimes that requires you know, definitely fencing off certain aspects, or cutting yourself off from certain forces, certain people, certain projects, certain places, in order so that you can move into better partnership with life, with another person, with your dreams and ideas. Like, this could also just be like a willingness to finally engage with yourself and accept that there are things that you want, and and you know how to make those things that you want real. And it's now the process of finally trusting in your ability to carry out the course of action necessary to bring them about. By sort of forming a partnership with the different aspects of yourself, allowing the visionary within you to translate itself through you out into the world. This progression of cards here, I'm also seeing as like a warning against being overly exuberant. Again, like, don't waste your energy on projects that don't need to be completed. Don't go out partying if it's not something that is necessary. And that seems so weird to say. Like, obviously, enjoy yourself and enjoy your time and make space for that, but do it in such a way that's responsible and considerate of all the time that you have not doing that thing. Because I feel like you have something important that you're working on, or at least it's important to you. Whether or not it's perceived to be important by other people, I think, is kind of irrelevant. You have something to say, you have something to share, you have something that wants to be created with your particular vision. And I think you know that. And a lot of the readings that I've done for you over the past, I don't know, year, 2 years, however long it's been, have been about taking up the mantle of authority within your own life, Scorpio. I think you more so than pretty much any of the other readings that I've done. It's just a recurring theme for you, like needing to take upon yourself the responsibility for your life and the world around you. You have the tenacity, you have the willpower, you have the drive, you have the staying power, you have the endurance. And I think by working towards your particular vision, working towards actualizing your particular vision, you know, you're going to attract people to you. I'm seeing like students approaching you, people approaching you, asking you how you're doing what you're doing, wanting to learn from you, and you may be coming to the realization that you can walk away from the imposter syndrome, that you can walk away from feeling like you have nothing to offer, like your work isn't important or valued, or like you don't know what you're doing, when you clearly do. And I think that's going to be mirrored back to you by people approaching you, asking you how you see the world the way that you see it, and how you create what you create in the particular way that only you can. And what I'm seeing with this card as well is like a message against the performative nature of emotions. Because yes, it's very natural to feel what you feel, especially as a result of particular situations and experiences and things that happen. Like, there's no discounting that. But there's also, I think with Mars ruled signs especially, there's a tendency to sort of take on the mantle of emotions performatively. Not necessarily as a manipulation tactic, but as a way of just sort of wearing it like armor, so that other people, or even yourself, if you're doing this alone with yourself, which I think is also an element of this, of what I'm talking about, of wearing it as like armor so that you don't have to confront the expanse behind it. Like there's something even deeper than the emotions that come up that maybe you've been afraid of. You've been afraid of. I don't know why I had to say it that way. But it's like, do you see the determination with which he's gripping the staff? Harnessing power and strength and stabilizing himself so that his ideas and vision can blossom out into the world. You know, that's the flower glyph. You know, being your own light. Like there's also hermit vibes with this, where you see the hermit kind of carrying up the lantern, being the source of his own light, walking through the darkness. That's kind of what I'm getting here, going back to the fear, the shame, the whatever it is, self-deceptions that lurk beneath the distractions of your superficial feelings. There are deeper feelings than those that arise so quickly and restlessly and spontaneously in your experience. I'm trying to determine if I want to pull another card, if another card wants to come through. Okay. I think this is a nice way to close out the reading. This progression from the 9 to this beautiful 10. They finally came together. Through hardships unnumbered. But they are numbered. There's 9. Honestly, I just feel like this is finally letting your guard down, letting this in, letting the flow happen instead of this. You know, like there was an element of this that's definitely necessary for this process that you're undertaking, but I think it's also, this card is also a warning against it. Like, don't close yourself off. Don't try to hold on to the comfortable. Don't try to keep things the same. Like, be open to finally letting things through, letting things come in, letting somebody approach you maybe. And while being very aware that you might have a difficult time with this, being very candid about it with yourself and possibly with whoever you're in partnership with. Like, this isn't easy for me, but I want to do this. We're going to do this together. We're going to figure this out. And there are layers that I need to get through in order to feel this. And being willing to work through that process together. It's almost like the hero's journey to marriage. And how nice that we end off on a 10 card. And I have 10 cards on the table. I like it. The 9th and the 10th card. Numbers don't play around. Okay. Well, I think that's all we've got for right now. If something comes up later, we'll see. But gonna wish you all the best, Scorpio. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep creating.